year and still feel broke. Yes, that is happening. This could be you, it could be somebody else, but because income does not create wealth. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why are income earners, professionals, why do they stay stuck or why are they financially stressed despite the fact they're making decent income. Welcome to Million Dollar League, a community of millionaires, and I'm Dr. Lina. I'm the convener of this community. Welcome to the Million Dollar League. And here we talk about how the right way. Open professional turn their income into real wealth. So, what are our income earners? Why do they feel broke? Or why are they still financially pressured? That's what we want to talk about today. So invite your friends over. Let's talk about this. Share out the live. Invite your friend. Tap out the live. Welcome in. And if you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I am a doctor of business and technology. I help you turn that your 9 to 5 income into real wealth. Because if all you do with your 9 to 5 income is to pay bills, then you realize that you're not building wealth. How then do you build wealth? Through the strategies that we talk about here. But today we're talking about why you're making $100,000 or maybe less, or you're making more than that. Chicago, welcome in. Chicago Chicken, moving silence. How are you? Happy Tuesday to you. Welcome to the 2nd of July, almost the mid-year, right? And let's keep tapping out the live, share out the live, invite your friends. It could be you, it could be your friends. How is it possible that somebody makes 100,000, 200,000, 150,000, or even 80 or 50,000, but then they still feel financially pressured? That's because it is not about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep. It is not in, your income does not create wealth, it's what you do with it that creates wealth. So welcome in. Now let's talk about it. How then do you create wealth? How then can you turn that your income into real wealth? And that's what we want to talk about today. Welcome in, and let's tap out the live. Welcome to the Million Dollar League, a community of millionaires using the strategies say changing the status quo, saying that we are changing the trajectory of moving instead of walking from a 20 to 65, that's 45 years. We're saying that we're doing this in 10 years and getting to that $1 million status. Of course, we have done it and we're doing it all over again. If your goal is to get to that $1 million status, well, you're in the right community. Let's tap out the live, share out the live, invite your friends over. Let's understand why are our earners. It could be you, it could be your friend. Good afternoon, Moving Silence. Jay, welcome in. Mola, welcome in. Welcome each and everyone and my YouTube community. Welcome. Click on that subscribe button because today we have something that is really interesting. How come some people make 300,000, 150,000, 100,000, maybe 80, 50,000, but then they still feel broke? That's what we want to talk about today because income does not equal wealth. Wealth building strategy is totally different. But guess what? We were taught one thing in school. Go to school, right? Get a job. That sounds familiar. Buy a house, start living your life, right? Work till 65 and then work for a little, rest for a little bit. And guess what? DIE right after. But is that a life of purpose? Well, that's what we're changing right here. So welcome to the Million Dollar League, where we're saying that we're doing this in 10 years, changing that goal of 65 years, shifting the goalpost to 10 years, using the strategies that we talk about here. But why are our earners? Why do they feel broke, right? The first thing is that you probably have heard this, and this could be you. Whenever is the first thing is high income trap. Have you heard this before? Whenever you get that $100,000, right? You get to the $100,000. What happens? You suddenly see the floodgate of all of the credit cards. All of the credit card companies suddenly starts to love you, right? Because you get in the mail, they will send you the black card. Chase will want you to come and get a credit card. Everybody starts to love you. Before 100,000, nobody loves you, nobody sees you. But the minute you get to the 100,000, hi Alex, welcome in, and everyone welcome in. Make sure you click on that subscribe button and welcome to the Million Dollar League. And we're talking about why are our earners. Why are they broke, right? Broke means that you're living paycheck to paycheck. You cannot fund your lifestyle. If you lose your job, or you're always waiting for the next paycheck to fund your lifestyle. Leah, welcome in. How are you? Make sure you click on that subscribe button and welcome to the Million Dollar League. Make sure you click on the follow button, right? Click on the follow button and join the $1 million League. This is the community of millionaires. You want to be a millionaire? Yes, right here. We're doing it in 10 years or less. So why does this happen? Why do our earners, why do they feel broke? Why are they financially pressured? That's because all of a sudden you have that your 100,000, you've prayed for it, it starts to happen 100,000 a year, and then all of a sudden you realize that it's not what it looks like, right? It's like almost a trap. At times I say, is it 100,000, is it a blessing or is it a curse? 100,000, when you say, I want to get to the six figure, is it a blessing or is it a curse? Because all of a sudden, credit cards, floodgates open, loan, everything gets to open, right? Yes, make sure you click on the subscribe button, make sure you click on the follow button. Thank you all for doing that. All of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what, they suddenly realize you can have all of the credits. You can have 60,000. You want to buy a car, boom, you get it. You want to buy a house, yes, boom, you get it. Guess what happens? You are so much in debt. You realize that before you know it, you are so much in debt. So the first thing is high income trap. That's the reason why our earners, why they stay broke. High income trap, bigger paycheck, bigger house, a bigger car, and then the bigger bills, right? The bills is the one that follows. A bigger house, a bigger car, a bigger, bigger paycheck that comes in, and then all of a sudden you are broke because the bills comes to you, because it's always like, okay, you know what, I can afford it until you realize that, guess what, everything is on debt. So that's one of the reasons why it's almost like you are choked. You have like so much of emotion, debt, so much financial burden upon you because you have taken more than you can chew. That's what happens, right? Yeah, so that's one of the things. So how then do you fix it? Why are high income alone? Why does high income alone? Why does it not work? What should you do differently? When income stops, think about it. When income stops, what happened? And somebody just followed. Nick Jagger, welcome in. Congratulations joining the $1 Million League. Congratulations joining the $1 Million community, a community of millionaires. That's what we do here with this, because first of all, it starts with the change of mindset. You need to know that your income is not going to build you wealth. It's what you do with it. It's how much you keep that really determines if you are building wealth or not. And that's what we are talking about here today. Why are high income earners? Why are they staying broke? Number one is that high income trap, right? Bigger paycheck, bigger house, bigger car, and of course the bigger bills that comes with it. All right. The second thing is, hey, Leah also subscribed. Thank you so much. Welcome to the $1 Million League. We'll do it from the TikTok side. You subscribe on the YouTube side, so we'll do it because we don't have all of those clap and all those fancy things right here on YouTube. But YouTube is absolutely amazing. TikTok is absolutely amazing. It's about bigger reach and reaching as many people as possible. So why income alone doesn't work? Understand this. Your income alone cannot do it, right? Understand that income stops when you stop working. So anything that stops, if your income stops and your lifestyle stops with it, meaning that your income stops and then no income, it means that you cannot fund your lifestyle. That is a risky place to be. Very, very risky place to be. 30,000 employees they were laid off in one day in Oracle. Oracle is a solid company. The stock went up, but guess what? A lot of people lost their livelihood. 30,000 families lost their livelihood. I always say something. One income is close to no income. One stream of income is close to no stream of income. And guess what? A lot of middle class, a lot of my professional family that I love so much, right, will fall in this category. Right? We're within this category. The other thing is that wealth continues when wealth will continue either you are working or not. That's the major difference. See, whenever with your income stops, right? And Movie Stelly, thank you for liking the live. Let's tap out the live. Thank you all for tapping out the live, share out the live. You're just meeting me. I'm Dr. Lina. I'm a doctor of business and technology, and I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. And you're wondering, what gave me that qualification? Because I'm a serial investor, been investing for close to 2 decades, been in the corporate world for close to 2 decades as a vice president of technology, and also a professor teaching AI cybersecurity with double-digit real estate portfolio. And of course, I invest heavily when it comes to ETS, my 401k, all of those things. And I'm just teaching you that strategy because the goal for me was retire in 10 years, right? 10 years, I made it happen, and I'm just working because I want to work, not because I have to work to pay bills. So I'm not doing the 45 years shenanigans. I'm not doing that. So if your goal is to retire not retire, work because work optional, right? In 10 years versus 45 years, then you're in the right place. It is called the $1 Million League. So welcome in, and we're talking about why high earners, why they're broke, right? Because I was in that category, and for years I did not gain financial freedom, even with that salary and all of that. No financial freedom until I started doing something differently, which is what I am sharing today. So you can replicate the same thing shamelessly and do it and get what? The same result. So welcome in, and thank you all for tapping out the live, sharing out the live, inviting your friends over. Don't be the only one enjoying this, because we're going straight into it. So the difference between your income and building wealth is one: income stops when you stop working, right? When income stops, if you don't work today, the income doesn't flow, right? That's one. The second thing is that wealth, on the other hand, wealth continues. Either you are working or you are not, right? Either you're working, you are not. So if you want to understand, am I building wealth or am I not building wealth? Think about it. Regardless of how much you are earning, 500,000, $1 million, so far you have to work. You're working, right? If your income stops, does your income stop when you stop working? That's the question. Does your income stop when you stop working? If the answer is yes, then you are not building wealth yet. Now, does your income continue even though you stop working? If the answer is yes, then you are building wealth. And you'll be like, okay, how is that even possible? Then the second one I mentioned, that is financial freedom, because you're working because you want to work. Okay, you're working because you just want to work. Okay, now, so let's go to the third thing. What is the wealth formula, right? Because you now understand. The question is, you already understand, I'm not building wealth because if I don't get that paycheck, of course, if income stops today, if I stop working today, there's no flow of income. I can't fund that lifestyle, right? We already understand that. So then what is the wealth formula? The wealth formula, I call it the wealth triangle, right? It's a triangle. It starts with unfortunately, I talk about wealth triangle. Afia, welcome in. How are you? Tech, welcome in. Jay, welcome in. Ajoke, welcome in. H-Tribe, welcome in. And my entire YouTube community as well. Welcome in the TikTok community. Welcome all in. Make sure you click on that follow button. Make sure you tap out the like, share out the like. Thank you all for doing that. So amazing to have you this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Saturday. Oh yeah. Tuesday afternoon. So think about it. It's like this. It's a wealth triangle, right? Remember this. It's a triangle. What we're taught in school is what? True. Welcome in. And that's the person I'm meeting with right after this, part of the mentorship program. Welcome. True. So good to have you. And we'll be talking in about an hour, right? In about an hour. So think about it. What were we taught? Go to school, get a job, right? And fund lifestyle. So it's an I. That's what we were taught. An I. Which is go to school, get a job, right? And fund lifestyle. Take that income and fund lifestyle. But if this is what you do, it means that if this income doesn't exist, that means you cannot fund your lifestyle, right? That's what it means. You can't fund your lifestyle. Income stops, lifestyle continues, but you cannot fund it, right? And that's the story of the 30,000 Oracle employees. Now but the strategy that we talk about here, it's a triangle instead of an eye. So it means that take that income, use some of this to fund the lifestyle, of course, because you have to pay the bills, you have to have your utilities on, you have to pay your rent or your mortgage, you have to have transportation, you also have to have your groceries, the kids will eat and they will dress up, right? Those are the basic needs of life. So you take some of that money and you fund this lifestyle. Now, a lot of time people fund this and then they do a whole lot of other lifestyle trying to um how is that we are talking about why are our income earners, why are they broke? That's what we're talking about. And welcome in. Make sure you click on that subscribe button and follow button and join the $1 million league. That's this community of millionaires, people that want to get to that $1 million status in 10 years or less. That's what we are doing right here. So welcome in. So instead of you doing the take that income, right? Use some of it to fund the lifestyle, right? The bills, those four basic needs. Then take some of it and use it to fund something called asset, right? Asset. So it's income, then it goes to assets, and then asset is going to give you something called cash flow. This is the cash flow, and then you fund your lifestyle. You see these that we have here, it's how you gain financial freedom. Because guess what? Remember, it's just income before, right? That is funding this lifestyle. Now think about it. It is no longer income, right? Because you are going through this triangle. Now you have asset. Asset is now going to fund the lifestyle. So even if the income disappears tomorrow, guess what's going to happen? You have your asset that is funding this lifestyle, and that is what you want to start talking. That is where you want to be, and it's until then that you gain financial freedom. For you to gain financial freedom, it means that you have to be work optional. It means that yes, you are working because you want to work, but then you have asset that is going to work. Your money is working for you. Your money is working harder than you do, right? That's what it means. Your money is working harder than you do, such that your money is now the one funding your lifestyle, right? And that is one of the major mistakes that our earners don't. That's why they go broke, because they do the I instead of the triangle. And within this triangle, what do we have there? Delayed gratification. Now, with the high income earners, it's almost like instant gratification. I want that car. Now I make 100,000. I can afford to buy a $7,000 car. Now I make 200,000. I can now stay in a $500,000 or a $1 million home. But then you should actually do what? Buy asset first. That asset will fund your lifestyle. So I give you an instance. Whenever I wanted to buy my car 2 years ago, and everybody was like, "Oh, Dr. Lina, you work so hard. You make decent money. You should buy this car. This is your dream car." And of course, yes, well, I agree. But one thing I do not agree with is, how can I take a whole half year of my life, trading half year of my life for a car, right? Regardless, or almost a year of my income of my life that I traded for money, now use it to buy a car. So what did I do? I took the money, I bought a house, right? Delayed it by 2 months. All that it took was 2 months. Delayed it by 2 months. Went to buy the house. The house was 172,500. It's a 3 bedroom, right? It's a small house, like a starter home. Bought a house, and then I rented the house for one. I fixed it for. Everything all in was like 180. Let's say 185, because it meets the 1% rule. Whenever you are buying a property, there's something called 1%. The rental income should be 1% of the comes of the property comes. So in this case, it was like 185,000 all in. The rent today is at 1,000, is at 1,850. Right now, I take the car, then I went to buy my car, put a deposit down. Every single time I get my rent from this property, I use it to pay the car note. Guess what? I have the house and I have the car. In a couple of, maybe 1-2 years, guess what? I'm going to still have the car, because I'm going to have it for 10 years. We're not changing that car for 10 years. And guess what? I have the house. Somebody else would have been paying the mortgage. Because there's no mortgage on it. I am using somebody else actually will pay for the car in full, but then I would still have the house even after I've paid the car in full. And that's what it is called, delayed gratification, because I could take the money and pay for the car. But guess what? I'm using somebody else's money to pay for this car. Basically, that's what I do. And that's the strategy I want us to, that's a strategy you need to change, because a lot of people will take that money and use it to buy the car. Right? That's what they would do. That's the standard. But in this case, I use it to buy an asset. That asset now gives me cash flow. That cash flow is what I use to now form the lifestyle, which is the car in my case. Just to bring it to just bring it to like perspective. Like you can still enjoy the beautiful life, right? But then that is what the wealthy get to do, right? The wealthy, that's exactly this strategy I talked about. That's what they get to do. And let's type, thank you all for tapping out the like. Make sure you click on the follow button and join the $1,000,000 League. And we're talking about why are earners, why are they broke? Why are our earners broke? Welcome in. Happy, what's today? Right? Happy Tuesday, right? Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. So, what then are assets? What are the assets that create cash flow? Remember, I talked about the triangle. Income, then you put the income, this is lifestyle, then you have the income, then it funds the asset, then the asset does what? It gives you cash flow, then the cash flow now gives you something called gives you funds your lifestyle, and that's how you gain your financial freedom. Movie Sally, thank you for tapping out the like, and everyone that is here, thank you for tapping out the like, getting your daily at me, and welcome to the $1,000,000 League. If you're just meeting me for the first time, I am Dr. Lina. I'm a doctor of business. I'm not alias. I'm a PhD holder in business and technology. Day job is vice president of technology. I'm also a professor teaching AI cybersecurity. But then why am I able to teach about wealth? That's because I'm an economist and also a chartered accountant. But then I'm a serial investor. So I'm very hands-on with double-digit real estate portfolio that I own and I manage by myself. So at least you will have an idea. So if you want to start investing in real estate, or you want to start investing in the stock market, then you are in the right place, because that's one of the two out of the three strategies that we use to build wealth. Changing the status quo, saying that we're not doing the 45 years thinking, which is working from age 20 to 65. We're saying that we are going to do it in 10 years. Get to that $1,000,000 status in 10 years. If that's your goal to become that, then click on the follow button. If you've been sitting here for 5 minutes or more, click on the follow button, click on the subscribe button, and join the community of millionaires. As a matter of fact, this community is called the $1,000,000 League. So welcome to the League of Millionaires, whereby we are building millionaires, basically, right? And join the millionaires. We start with your income, then what else do you do with that income? That's what really matters. This is not get rich quick scheme. This is not this. As a matter of fact, this is generational wealth building. That's what we talk about here in this life. So this is beyond TikTok or beyond any platform. It's a movement, right? It is a movement where we are changing the status quo. Why are our earners? Why do they feel broke? That's what we're talking about today. And we did say that the high income trap, bigger paycheck, bigger house, bigger car, bigger bills. That's number one thing. The lifestyle inflation, right? Your income comes here, so is your expense. That's it, right? But then if you have your income, you have your expense low. This is what you now get to do, what you use to build asset that cash flows. And once you start having asset that cash flows, then you can gain financial freedom. Because guess what? I don't teach about money, even though this is Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Money is just a tool. The goal in itself is financial freedom. Freedom to live life at your own terms. That's what this is all about. How to live life at your own terms. Working because you want to work, not because you have to work to pay bills. Two different things. Just imagine yourself on one island right now. You have worked. This is Central Time in Texas. This is 1:39. So if you started the 8 a.m. shift, it means that you have worked at least close to almost 6 hours, right? Imagine you being on an island right now, right? Whatever you have earned, let's say you earn $100 an hour. That's about $600, right? Imagine you being on that island and then you're sipping your coconut water, right? On the island, right? But guess what? You are also earning that $600, right? Or whatever, how many dollars that you're making per hour. Calculate that. Imagine you making that money. And that's what this is all about. Being financially free, right? Like I said, it's not get rich quick scheme. It's about what the strategy that the multimillionaire uses. Simple things like asset like ETFs, asset like real estate. That's what we talk about here. But not just for you, even for your children. Like things like, being having your children as an authorized user on the credit card, having them have their Roth IRA, paying their education, going to school for free, right? Scholarships, all of the. How can you also increase your income? How can you increase that your income? That's what we are all about. Because when your income is high and you keep your expense low, you see this gap. That is what builds you wealth. And as a matter of fact, we have the Wealth Building Academy. It's free. It is free, but registration is required. We have that this Saturday, the 6th of June, where we have 4 people, including myself, 4 doctor PhD holders that are coming to teach you. What are they going to be teaching? Somebody is going to be teaching you, like Dr. Fatima, who is the executive director of graduate studies in the leading university in California. She'll be coming to teach you how to go to school for free. She's in charge of scholarship reviews, about 13,000 applications, over 200,000 applications over so many years that she's been reviewed. She's coming to teach us how can you go to college for free. So if your goal is, you want to pivot from one career path to another, and you think that you have to go back to college necessarily, how can you go to school with zero cost? She actually has 5 degrees and she paid $0 for each of those degrees that she has. She's a doctor. She will be coming to teach us, and this is as part of corporate social responsibility, teaching you how to get scholarship. This could be for you, for your children, or for your friends, or that's how you get. That's part of so that you can put some more money in your pocket, even as a parent, right? Putting a lot of money in your pocket and use that money. Now you can now take that money that you're using towards education, for your kids' education. You can now put that money towards something called asset, because maybe you have been putting, you've been saving 50,000, 100,000, or you've been paying your kids tuition 100,000 in the past, or 50,000 depending on their school. Now you can take that money and just use it towards buying your first property. And that's the part of the strategy that we teach here. Right? So Dr. Fatima will be here to teach you how to get scholarship. As a matter of fact, she is a executive director of graduate admissions in the leading university in California. We already know the leading university in California. That's UCLA, right? And then we have the chief information security officer teaching us AI cybersecurity. He teaches. He's also a professor teaching AI cybersecurity in the university, but he's also a chief information security officer, Dr. Ade. He will be here as well to teach you. If your goal is everything is AI right now, right? AI is taking everybody's job. How can you pivot? How can you be that AI person behind the cybersecurity? Ensuring there's no vulnerability around AI, right? There has to be somebody that is checking that AI is compliant, right? If that's your goal, then you can actually, it's your opportunity to come learn this for free. This is this Saturday, June the 6th. It is free, but registration is required. And then we have Dr. O, who is a clinical therapist, is a social worker. She has her own private practice in New York and lectures in 7 different universities. She's also coming to teach us. She'll be doing some mindset stuff, mindset strategies. She would also be teaching about everything about, if you want to go into that career. You will find the link in my bio. And then I will be there to teach you about smart investing. I'll be there to teach you about real estate, taught about real estate, right? I would also be there to teach you about everything about protection. So we're talking about LLC. We're talking about how I increased my income by 30,000 with just less than $500 in less than 5 months. Did not go back to college. How I did that about 16 years ago. That's how I pivoted from finance to technology and rose to the position of vice president of technology. $500, 5 months, $30,000. If you want to learn everything about that, you will find the link in my bio, and I will just quickly show it for the people here because the class is almost full. The last that I checked, we had 4 seats left. So it is free, but registration is required. It's highly required. Class is almost full, so you would see it is right here, the Wealth Building Academy for the YouTube community. Make sure you click the follow button. Yeah, so right here. So this is my, for you to find it, you will find the link in my bio. This is my bio right here. Oh, right. You find it right here. Click it on here. Money Talk with Dr. Lina / the next you.me. You click on it and then click on open anyway. And this is it right here. Click on it, the Wealth Building Academy. Click on that and you would see it takes you less than 1 minute for you to take that life-changing, career-changing, life-changing program. You know, I tell you, with the combination of those people, you have at least, you're making at least, you're getting, putting like almost $10,000 in your pocket, because it is free, but registration is required. Take advantage of it if your goal is to get to that six-figure salary. Because I always say something. Remember, we're saying IN. Why are INers? Why do they feel broke, right? And some people will like scroll. Yeah, I'm not a INer. I'm not earning the six figures. I'm not making good money or whatever. But do you want to get to that good money? Is that your goal? If that's your goal, then this is for you. And then you're already earning that income. Then what do you do with it? How do you increase that income, right? If that's your goal, then make sure you have enrolled for that class. Right now, we only have 4 spots left, and once it's taken, it's taken. So take advantage of it, right? It's this Saturday. Please do not register if you know you will not be there or you cannot make it. That's fine, right? But don't take the slot away from every other person. And make sure you click on the follow button, click on the subscribe button if you haven't. And here you're just meeting me. I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and of Technology, and I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. And we just talked about the Wealth Building Academy, the life-changing course that life class that we have this weekend, with 4 doctors coming to teach you. So take advantage. Just 4 seats left. It's free, but registration is required. You'll find the link in my bio. Click on it. It's called the Wealth Building Academy. It's a $0. It just takes you 2 minutes to get it completed. Take advantage of it right now, free, and it's never going to happen again. It's going to ever happen one time, and then that's it. Take advantage of it so that you can learn how to increase your income. And then once you have that income, how do you get it even more, right? Oh, Bago, Ebony, how are you? Jay, team, Impress, Liz. So let's go ahead, right? We said that AI income trap is the one of the biggest thing. Bigger paycheck, bigger house, bigger car, right? Bigger bills. And then we said that, it's what you do with that income, right? Make sure that you are putting a lot away. As a matter of fact, I always say that take 30 to 50% of that your income, 30 to 50% of that your income, put it towards asset. When you have this asset will start generating something for you called cash flow, right? It will start giving you something called cash flow. And that cash flow is what you now use to fund your lifestyle, right? That's what you use to fund your lifestyle. And thank you all for tapping out the live. When we tap out the live, it shows that you're finding this valuable, because that's the only language that the algorithm understand. Tapping out the live, sharing out the live. As a matter of fact, if you've been sitting here for more than 5 minutes, make sure you click on the follow button and join the $1 Million League, the community of millionaires. And welcome. Just meeting me. I'm Dr. Lina, and I'm just here to support you to get to that your wealth journey. All right. So what are the different assets that you put your money in? What are the different assets? The first one I talk about is ETFs. Who knows about, if you know about ETF, put 1 in the comments. I don't know what ETF is, put 0. 1, I know ETF. 0, I do not know ETF. Moving like silence, thank you so much. Bago, thank you for tapping out the live, and everyone tapping out the live. Really appreciate that. That is very helpful. And get your daily at me as well. Share the live, invite your friend. Bago knows about it. Okay, great. Any other person? 0 if you do not know what ETF is. 0 if you do. I know 1, I don't know 0. I know ETF. 1, I don't know ETF. 0. Bago team, Impress, Ebony. How are you, Ebony? Jay, Mines. right? I know ETF 1, I don't know ETF 0. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so maybe we don't talk about ETFs today. Should I just assume everybody knows what ETF is at this point? Right? I know everybody knows about what ETF is at this point, but average ETF is, and for my YouTube community as well, ETF, do you know what ETF is? Okay, no, Amso doesn't know. Fine, thank you. See, it's good. It's good. That's why I keep quiet at times and like, okay, yes, because I might, even if it's just one person, really, one of the reasons why I do what I do is even if it's just one person that is blessed, I am okay with it, right? Because that is not just one person, it's changing an entire generation. That's it, right? That is a goal for me. All right, so AMSO, basically ETF is what? ETF is exchange traded funds, right? And it's a form of asset. We talk about three main assets here in this community. This is not about get rich quick scheme. This is not hypes. This is not, as a matter of fact, these are solid strategies used by the millionaires. ETF is one of them. Real estate is the second one, and businesses is the third one. These are the three O's for you to build wealth. Income will be a tool for you to get there. So what is ETF? And make sure you click on the follow button and join the $1 Million League so you can also get to understand the other ones that we talk about. Leroy, welcome in. User, welcome in, everyone. Make sure you click on that follow button and join the $1 Million League. So ETF is exchange traded funds. What does this mean? It simply means that it's a fund, like I said, funds. If think about investing, right? First of all, let's start from a beginner. Investing, there's something called you investing in the stock market. In case you are just new, investing in stock market, it simply means that you can buy a little bit of ownership of a particular company. So let's talk about Amazon. Amazon is the company. I talk about it because, Amazon and Coca-Cola, everybody knows that, right? Everybody knows Amazon and Coca-Cola. So think about, you can say that, okay, you know what? I shop on Amazon a lot, or I take soda a lot. And because of that, I want to buy part of ownership of Amazon. I want to buy part of ownership of Coca-Cola. I want to buy part of I want to own part of because I have iPhone, I want to own part of Apple, right? So as a matter of fact, I use that strategy. So for every single time that you make all those purchases, make sure that you are investing, move from being a consumer to being an owner, right? For every single time that you buy, upgrade your phone, or you buy Coca-Cola, or you buy something on Amazon, take the equivalent of that money and use it to invest in that company. It moves you from being a consumer to being an owner. Labs Zabo, Jennifer, Barry, welcome in, and welcome in, and make sure you click on that follow button if you are not joining the $1 Million League, right? You see the MDL in front of Jennifer's name, that is the $1 Million, which is this community. So now, how then do you do it? It simply means that you, with my $1, have $1, $100, $2,000, $100,000. I can say that I want to invest. I want to buy a piece of Amazon. With this money, I buy a piece of Amazon. And Dr. Fatima is in the house. Dr. Fatima is one of our teachers teaching about for the Wealth Building Academy. So good to have you, Dr. Fatima. So can't wait to have you on Saturday to teach us about scholarships and all of how to go to school for free. Now, so think about it. You can now take some of your money and say that, okay, you know what? I can take some of my money and buy a part of Amazon. How do you do that? My $10,000, my $5, my $100, I'll say that, okay, I'll buy a fractional share of Amazon, of Coca-Cola, of Procter & Gamble, right? I would buy it. That's how you buy it. And you buy it in the stock market, because all these companies are listed on the stock market, right? So they're traded, right, on the stock market, where you can put, common man can actually trade and buy a unit, either a unit or fractional shares of that particular company, right? So that is what maybe you read about investing in the stock market. That's what it means. Now, what then is ETF, right? ETF, on the other hand, instead of you saying that you are buying Amazon, you're buying Amazon only, right? You're buying, but with that your $1 or your $10 or $100, you are taking that same money and you're saying that when I invest this $100, I am not just buying Amazon. I am using, or $1. Let me use $1 so you know how little it is. $1. I am buying Amazon. I am buying Coca-Cola. I am buying Apple. I am buying Nvidia. I am buying so many companies in this basket, in this, with this same $1. So that is because it's a fund, right? It's a fund. This fund has multiple stocks in it, right? These multiple stocks can be all energy. This multiple stocks can be all real estate. This multiple stock can be diverse of different industry. It can have it can have energy in it, and at the same time it has real estate, and at the same time in it has technology. It has everything in it, right? So what does this help you to do? Why should I choose A, buy individual stock, or B, buy basket of funds? It's because with A, think about A, let's assume that something happens with Amazon. For some reason, there's a vulnerability. Oh, thank you so much for the gift. There's a vulnerability with Amazon, right? With the data center, which is AWS. There's a vulnerability with the AWS data center, which is owned by Amazon. In case you don't know, Amazon owns AWS. AWS is a data center. It's a backup center for so many companies. Let's assume that it's hacked, for instance, for some reason, it got hacked. And because it got hacked, there's a lot of vulnerabilities. There is data breach, right? That's what it means. And with that data breach happening, it means that there's going to be a lot of lawsuits on Amazon or AWS, which is automatically Amazon. What's going to happen to Amazon? The Amazon stock is going to come down. It's going to impact their stocks. And then what happens after? It means that if you had bought just Amazon, to you as an individual, you would have lost some of your money, because when the stock price of Amazon goes down, guess what? The money that you put in goes down with it. It means that's when you hear people say, I lost money in the stock market. Okay? I lost money in the stock market. Summary of that is the stock went down. It means that your money goes down, right? And of course, people lose money. I've had a fair share 6 years ago. I lost 99,000 doing penny stock, day trading, and options trading, right? Those three, I don't touch it, right? People that do it, it works for them, but it doesn't work for me. It did not work for me. Now, on the other hand, now think about it. With the same dollar I had, let's say I put $1, use it in Amazon. If Amazon goes down, of course, my money goes down. If it goes up, my money goes up. But with the ETF, on the other hand, what it helps you to do is, remember, it's a fund, right? Inside that fund, it's not just Amazon that is there. There's Amazon. There could be Coca-Cola. There could be Exxon. There could be so many other companies. There could be CBRE, which is real estate. There could be automobile like Toyota. There could be Carvana. All of those companies can be there. But guess what? If the stock of Amazon, because there was a breach on Amazon, if it goes down, what's going to happen to the ETF fund? Remember, let's assume that we have 500 stocks in there. Amazon goes down, right? One stock out of 500, it goes down. What's going to happen to your money? Do you lose all your money? Do you lose your money? Put yes, or put no. Do you lose all your money? Is it possible for you to lose all your money? We have 500 stocks, only one stock goes down, right? Do you lose all your money? Yes or no? No, exactly. Thank you so much, Rosemary. No, because you have some other 499. Bago, thank you so much. You have 499 that is still there, that is still lifting the portfolio. Even if 10 goes down, let's assume that one whole industry is impacted, and inside that fund we have 10 of the same company or 10 different companies in the same industry, let's say, let's say it impacted the whole of energy, and then we have 10 companies of energy, it's impossible for your stock. Yes, it's going to go down, right? Because of course it's 10%. It's not even 10%. How much is that? 10 divided by whatever the percentage is, right? It's just 10 over 500 of it. So your chances of losing all your money is pretty low. So, and versus here, if it's Amazon, you only put your money in Amazon, right? You put all your money in Amazon. If Amazon goes down, do you lose your money? Yes or no? You put your money in Amazon only. You put it in ETF. You said no. If you put it only in Amazon and Amazon goes down, do you lose your money? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, yes, Amzo, thank you. So thank you, Spago. Yes, you lose your money if you put your money in Amazon only. That's the benefit of ETF. ETF is more about diversification. Diversification is that's one of the biggest strategies, and that's why the multimillionaires, as a matter of fact, you can take your iPad or take another gadget and check where does the multimillionaire, where do they put their money, and then you would realize that that's why they put their money there. They put their money in index fund and ETF. ETF is the same thing as index fund. The only difference is one is traded within the trading day, which is like the ETF is traded like a stock, but index one is traded. It's if you buy now, you get it until the end of the day. That's when you know how much you sold and all of that, because it's almost like the average. Which ETF is best? There is no how do I put it? Which ETF is best? There's no ETF that is best, right? It is a function of how old are you, a function of so many things. How old are you? What is your risk tolerance, right? What and some other factors, right? What ETF is best is a function of you, because what is best for a 20-year-old is different from what is best for a 60-year-old, and is different from what is, because it's a function of time in the market. But I can tell you one that is just generically, let's say, okay, you're in your 40s or whatever, or that can work at any time. Because if you're in your 60s, I'll just say do BND, just do bonds, right? Because of course you are close to retirement, you don't have, but then if you are in your 20s, I can tell you go do QQQ, do something more risky, right? If you are in your 30s and your 40s, I can tell you do something like a VOO, like an S&P 500. If you are 20s, it's a mix of the two. So those are the things. There's so many things that goes into which one. So that's $1 million question right there, Rosemary, right? But then, that's what about decay? Decay. What is the decay? Options. You're talking about options. That is options. If you're talking about decay, then that is options trading we're talking about. Options trading, trust me, that's what you're talking about. Here is just stocks. This is not options trading. This is you buying stock. But the stock that you are, just think about, you are buying stock, but whenever ETF price going down, ETF price going down, because here we talk about long-term investing. So let me give you one. We talk about long-term investing. We like, for instance, one of the ones that I talk about, very popular, S&P 500, top 500 companies. So it simply means top 500 companies in the United States point in time. So it means that they are being evaluated at every quarter. So it means that you can fall off from this top 500 companies at any point in time. At every review, they're looking at their income, their expense, their all of that, right? So it has returned averagely between 8 to 12% in 30 years, averagely. In the 30 to 40 years, in the past 10 years, it's returned 14 to 15%. So it means even through COVID and all of that, if you have invested for the past 10 years, you would have returned, your money would have grown at least 14 to 14.5%. That's what it simply means, because it's done 14 to 15%. Last year it did 18%. Doesn't mean this year is going to do 18%. So whenever you are in the stock market, Rosemary, there is the expectation, there is the risk in the stock market. You can lose your money in the stock market. However, with ETF, based on what we talked about, it's about you managing your risk, which is diversification. Because remember what we talked about, Amazon. Remember Amazon. If it goes down, you still have 499. If the entire, let's say, energy sector goes down, guess what? You still have maybe another 490 that is still holding the portfolio. So through, let me give you an instance. Through the Iran war, right? The stock market really went down, right? It really, I mean, it's still on. We don't even know if you're still at war or not, right? With all Strait of almost closing down and everything and all of that is happening, right? With all of that happening, guess what? There's still some stock that Exxon was still surging. Exxon is part of S&P 500. Even with everything going down, some going as low as 30%, 40%, really, really going down. Like Nvidia really went down. Palantir was also in trouble and all of that. But guess what? The S&P 500, the VOO of this world it went down from, was it 625, was it 625 or 725 to 685 or 675. That's the impact, because Exxon was actually surging at that point by 40%. Exxon was inside the S&P 500 and it was surging at that point. So, and then a lot of the some energy companies were doing so well and they were in the S&P 500. Right now, the market is back at all-time high. So whenever you're buying, I always say something, do not think about, except you're doing day trading. If you are not doing day trading, just if you buy a solid ETF or solid stock, right? Because I have individual stock like Procter and Gamble, because I worked there for 8 years. They pay dividends for the past 100 years. So I know it's a solid company, right? Even if it goes down, I know it's coming up, right? Whatever goes down comes up. That's the way. The same way I will treat it like, the way I look at stock is, when the stock goes down, if it's a solid one or ETF, when it goes down, it was welcome to the $1 Million League. Congratulations. Joining the $1 Million League. Click on that and you're wondering what's $1 Million League. That's this community. Just click on that follow button. Follow the strategies that we talk about here. And guess what? You are on your way to becoming a millionaire. We don't teach get rich quick scheme here. As a matter of fact, we talk about more of medium and long-term investing. So back to volatility of the stock. So we don't chase. That's why we talk about more of the ETF, right? The volatility doesn't really matter, right? If the stock goes down, it goes up or whatever, because we are doing 5 years, we're doing 10 years. That's what we're doing. Rosemary, welcome to the $1 Million League. Congratulations joining the $1 Million League. So we are not doing immediate instant gratification. Here is about delayed gratification. So if you're about get rich quick scheme, then I'm not the right coach for you, unfortunately, because I know people lose money through that process, and I do not want anybody to lose. Protection layer is number one thing for us in this community, right? We do exactly what the multi-millionaire does. That's what we do. Things like LLC, probate, all of those living trusts, those are things that we talked about. Having your children set up generational wealth, that's what we talk about. So volatility of stocks, because if you're not doing day trading, it's just like your house. If for people, our homeowners, how many homeowners here check their property every day to say, oh, as my property value, you bought your forever home, you're not selling you're not planning to sell, right? Do you check your property every single day to say, oh, what is the value of my property today? Please put in the comments, yes or no. Do you check the value of your property every day? Right? There's something I want to do. For homeowners, you already have a home, right? Do you check the No, right? Rosemary, thank you. Actually, because you don't check, because you're not in the market to sell, right? User, thank you. You're not in the market to sell. So why are you so focused on it? You are putting this money away. It's just like your 401k. You know that you cannot get it until 59 and a half. Now you are still 35 years old. The whatever market happened, the war happened, and then you are panicking. You don't have any business except you're already in your 60s. That's when Bago says no. Yeah, except you're in your 60s. So the first thing first, always think about it. The first thing first that you want to do is have the mindset of, what are you buying? Do you understand what you are buying? If you are buying an S&P 500, for instance, like a VOO, SPY, IVV, you are buying that. This thing has returned, ETF, this S&P 500 has returned, it returned 18% last year. Averagely, remember average, there was time when it's 4%, 30%, 12%. Averagely, for the past 10 years, it has returned 14 to 15%. Let's take the median. That's 14.5%. In the past 30, 40 years, it's returned 8 to 12%. So it means that it is steady. It means that it's solid. Whatever I talked about Procter and Gamble, which is a company that I worked for before. I'm not saying invest in that, but let's say you know any of those companies, right? That you know that is in, even if it goes down, it's still going to come up. So if you don't have any business in selling it now, you're not a day trader, why are you worried that it goes down? As a matter of fact, when I see the blood on the street, when the stock market goes down, guess what? I am scooping, because that is what is called dollar cost average. Because now you are reducing the average price of what you bought. It is a lot of time. That's why they say the middleman, the middle class, do you know what they call the money on the Wall Street? They call our money the dumb money. Dumb, D-U-M-B. Right? Go and read a book or watch the movie Dumb Money. It means that when we buy at the highest and then we sell at the lowest. Why? It's a psychological thing. Now, let me give you an instance. Cryptocurrency. I'm sure you heard about cryptocurrency the whole of last year, because it went all the way to 125,000. Now, cryptocurrency is at 75,000. Nobody is talking about it right now. But guess what? The minute it becomes 200,000, I'm not saying it's going to get there, right? Let's say it gets to 200,000. Everybody wants to jump in. The fear of missing out. People, so always think about, if you do not have any business, you are not selling tomorrow, you don't need the money tomorrow, just leave it so far you buy in the right place. You are buying the right asset. That's why you need to do your analysis first. Understand what you are buying before you start investing. And Yangi just also joined the community of millionaires. Congratulations joining the $1 Million League. Welcome to the family. This is the $1 Million League. If your goal is to get to that $1 Million starter, not get rich quick scheme, not hypes, following these strategies that we're talking about, then click on the follow button and you're welcome to join to this community, which is the community of millionaires trying to get to that $1 Million status in 10 years or less. Battles 45 years, working from age 20 to 60. If your goal is to become that millionaire, then you are in the right community. And welcome. I'm happy to have you as my happy to be your coach. Happy to be your coach. And thank you for all tapping the live, sharing out the live, inviting your friends over. As a matter of fact, if you've been sitting here for 5 minutes and it means that you have found value, there's a reason you want to do something about your finances. That's why you're stuck here. Make sure you do not forget that you have not clicked that follow button and joined the $1 Million League. Awesome. So let's keep going on. So ETF is just a basket of stock. And like I mentioned, there's different types of ETF, right? There's so many of them. Right? S&P 500 is just one of them. So let me just give you an idea of when they say S&P 500, when they say ETF is just a basket of funds. It's managed by an investment firm or a brokerage firm. That's what it is. Now, the thing that differentiates them is who manages it and what is in the funds, right? Who manages it and what is in the fund. Like S&P 500 is simply top 500 companies in the United States. That's it. That's why it's called S&P 500. Now, you can now have the different ticket symbol like VOO. It means that it tracks S&P 500, but it's managed by Vanguard. That's the brokerage firm or the fund manager. Vanguard manages VOO, manages this S&P 500. That's why it is called VOO. There's also another S&P 500 managed by BlackRock. BlackRock is another fund management company, investment firm, brokerage firm. BlackRock. They also do the same S&P 500, right? It's just that different companies managing the same thing, but they manage their own. Call it one name, the other person call it another name. And then there's the popular one as well, SPY. SPY is owned by or managed by State Street. That's the investment firm. That's the brokerage firm. That is the fund manager, right? But that's just the difference. That's one kind of ETF, right? One type of ETF. Now, there can be S&P 1000. There is S&P 100. You can buy the entire US stock market, the entire 3200, and just say, and that is like a VTI. You can say that, you know what, I don't even like the US, right? I want international, VXUX. You can say that, okay, you know what, I only want to buy real estate, right? Depending on your portfolio, depending on your risk tolerance, your age, your choices, and all of that, right? You can decide, okay, I'm buying the entire real estate, right? I want to buy real estate. So it's something like a REIT, right? Real estate investment trust. That's REIT for real estate. I don't want to buy individual property like Dr. Lina that manages her own double-digit real estate portfolio, but then I just want to do it in the ETF form. Then you do REIT. You can say that, oh, I just want top technology companies like a QQQ NASDAQ 100. That's it for you, right? Or QQQM. There's also the one, okay, I want cash flow in terms of ETF, the one that will be paying me. I don't want to sell it, but I still want to have the cash flow, right? I still want to have the cash flow every single month, do profit sharing, something like an SCHD. So there are different types of ETF. It's about who manages it and what is managed in there, right? It can also be, for people in Africa. So there can be, because a lot of time we talk about the US market. There is you also have the one in Canada, you have the one in Africa, you have the one in Nigeria, you have the one in South Africa, you have the one in Europe, the one in Sweden, in all over. It's about who manages the fund and what is in the fund. Who manages it? What is the fund? What is going to determine the name that it has, right? And that's it. Basically, that's an ETF. Now, what determines what ETF you do buy? What determines? It's not a function of what is your risk tolerance? How old are you? And some other factors, right? You doing your analysis, right? What is the data? I just provided you the data for S&P 500 right now, right? S&P 500, it has returned 8 to 12%. Is that okay for you? Now, so and whenever we say 8 to 12%, some people might say, oh, that's small money. 8 to 12%, does it even make sense? Do you even know how much it takes, how long it takes your money to double? What is the percentage? And at what rate does your money double? If you don't know, who knows it here? Who knows it? Put 1. If you don't know, put 0. Put 1 if you know, put 0. How long does it take? What's the process of understanding your money to get double? Or you want to know how your money doubles? Put 1 if you want to know. Okay, so Rosemary doesn't know. Okay, do you want to know? Put 1 if you want to know. Put 1 if you want to know. And great, and let's keep tapping out the light. Bogo, Rosemary, Unwazu, Tayuza, Tropical Queen, Ajay, Team, Samuel, Chicago Chicken Pillar. Yeah. Okay, okay, Samuel doesn't know as well. Perfect. So it's called something called the rule of 72. Rule of 72 is how long it's going to take your money to double if you invest your money, basically. So let me give an instance. How much? Also put in the comments, how much what is the rate on return? Samuel, welcome to the $1 Million family. Congratulations on you committing to become that millionaire, getting to that $1 million status. I always love my millionaires. You might not look like it right now, or you are already a millionaire and you're just scaling to be a multimillionaire. If you don't look like it, don't worry. Just keep up with the process. You would see you right there. You just join that community and you just name yourself as a millionaire and you will get there. Make sure you follow the processes and the strategy and you'll find yourself becoming that millionaire in dollars, not in another currency. So what is the rate? What interest do you get on your bank? Like your your savings account, your regular savings account. Now, I'm not talking about IE savings account. What do you get on and we'll soon be wrapping up. What do you get on your savings account in a year? How much return do you get on your savings account? And you would understand by it, because I know some people would say, oh, you know what? I want a 30%, 50% return and all of that. But let's do this calculation so that it will give you what return do you get what's your interest rate on your savings account? What interest rate do you get? Because we are going to do some calculations here. What interest rate? Anyone care to share? What interest rate?
10,000 followers.
What interest rate do you get from your bank? Anybody care to share? Thank you so much for tapping out the live. Rosemary, Bago, Onwozita user Samuel Mekama, J, Tropical Queen, Ajay, Team, Pilar, Fred, Impress. You know, what rate do you get from your bank? Otherwise, I'll use what my bank gives me. Thank you all for tapping out the light. What rate do you get from your regular bank? Thank you so much. Rosa Mary, you are killing it. Thank you. So let's take your calculator. So for you to do the calculation, take 72 divided by, you want to know how long it takes your money to double, right? With your money in the bank. 72, that your money. Okay, Rosa Mary, that your money in the bank. Let's know how long, how quickly can you double that money that you have in the bank, Rosa Mary. So you said 0.01%, right? Takes number 72. And I'm using my iPad. Take your iPad or take a gadget as well. Let's do it together. If only it's, Take 72. And it's on me. You can also check and verify this. I always say Trustbird verify. 72 divided by that rate of return. What do you get? 7,200 years. That's what is going to take your money to double. It means that in your lifetime, 7,200 times. So it means that if you come to this life 7,200 times, that's when you can only double your money if your money is seated in the bank. And that's one of the problems that high income earners have, because they leave their money, middle class and high income earners. This is the biggest problem, because they leave their money in the bank, right? They tell us, go to school, get a job and fund lifestyle, right? But guess what? Where do they put their money? In the bank. It means that your money would not double. Let's not do another person. Put their money in an S&P 500. S&P 500 has done averagely between 8 to 12% the past 30, 40 years. So we can conveniently say that 40 years, like 40 years, you know, you can say that, okay, at least your money will double, you know, you will get 10%, averagely 10%, right? So take that number 72 again, divided by 10. What do you get? 7 years and 2 months. That's how long it's going to take your money to double. And don't take my word for it. Just go, you can go on Google and check the rule of 72. It's very popular. It's very popular. 7.2 years is what's going to take your money versus 7,200 years. And thank you for tapping out the live. Let's get it to 10,000 quickly. Thank you so much. And check if you have not clicked on that follow button. We'll soon be wrapping up. So click on the follow button, join the $1 Million League. Now you understand this. You see this thing that I just told you. That's one of the reasons people are not building wealth. If your money is just seated in the bank, then you are not going to build wealth. Mahala, welcome in. Now, let's now do what it did in the past 10 years, because I want to think that it's safe. There's been COVID-19, right? Which is 2020. There was another trade war that happened, right? There's the trade war that happened last year, March. There was the Iran war this March. And in the past 10 years, it's returned 14 to 15%. 14 to 15% is what it has returned. So we can conveniently say 14.5. I always remember, I'm a very conservative person. I am a moderate investor. I am not high risk, right? So you will not see me talk about option day trading or, you know, or penny stock. I'm not get rich quick scheme. I do the steady way of growing funds, because I'm building generational wealth and I cannot afford to lose another dollar, right? So take that 72 again, divided by 14.5. Can somebody tell me the answer? 72 divided by 14.5. 72 divided by 14.5. What's the answer? Anybody can help us? Thank you so much for helping, and thank you for tapping out the Rosemary, Bago, Tayuza, Samuel, Ajay, Team, Pilar, Fred, Realistic, Empress, Mahala, J. Chris, Tropical Queen J, 4.96. Thank you so much, Tropical Queen. Tropical Queen said, she did the calculation. It means that you're doubling your money in less than 5 years. Less than 5 years. It's the rule of 72, not me. Less than 5 years. It means that, let's assume that you put $100,000. Let's assume, I'm not saying $100,000. It means in 5 years, your 100,000 becomes, and less than 5 years, not even 5 years. In less than 5 years, your money doubles and this is putting it in an S&P 500, which is the basics for the past 10 years. It's done this for the past 10 years. It means that your money, your $100,000 is going to double it's going to double in 5 years. So by this is 2026, it means that by year 2031, right? If I'm correct, your money is going to become 200,000, right? By year 2036, right, which is 10 years after, your money is going to be, your 100,000 is going to become 400,000, right? Right? I'm correct, right? Year 2031, no, 41, right? Which is 15 years after, your money is going to become 800,000. And what is going to be your money in 20 years, by year 2046? 2046, what is going to be your money? 800,000 times 2. What's that? Can somebody put it in the comments? 800,000 times 2. What is your money going to be at that point? That's going to give you the answer. Anybody help with that? 800,000 times 2. Where can you get a rate of 14%? That's what I just talked about. Tropical coin. S&P 500. 14.5 is what is done. 14 to 15% is what is done in the past 10 years, averagely. Last year, it did 18%. Even before that, that means that there are times when it's done 4%, there's time when it's done 15, it's done 32, it's done 24, but averagely for the past 10 years, it's returned 14 to 15%, right? So that's why I said this is about long-term investing, your medium to long-term investing. So you cannot look at it today, right? You cannot, it's about, if it means that if you have put your money in the past 10 years, this is what you would have seen, how your money would have done. Your money would have tripled. You would have been, if you have put $100,000 10 years ago, your 100,000 would have been 100 times 2, 200,000. And then the 5 years after, it would have been 400,000 if you had put it as of 2016 or even more. That's what you would have gotten. So that's how wealth is built. And they asked Warren Buffett this. It is so simple, right? So simple. But a lot of people want something called instant gratification. Nobody wants, when you say 5 years, but then when you say 5 years, it sounds like a long time until you realize that 5 years was just COVID-19 was 6 years ago. COVID-19, right? That happened was 6 years ago. So whenever you're thinking 10 years is a long time, think about when you started working. Think about when you were just 25 years old. But now you're 40. It's already 15 years. Yes, it means that you're old. It means that you're old. All right. So guess what? $100,000 becomes 1.6 million. Nobody gave me the answer, right? $1.6 million. That's 100,000. In 20 years, it becomes 1.6 million. And that is what is called the power of compound interest, right? And they call it the eighth wonder of the world. That's why you see some people, they will say, you know what? I have this much money. It's, I'm not downplaying teachers, because I always say teachers that should be the highest paid, right? They impact knowledge. But you see some teachers, they will have retire a millionaire. But guess what? People that earn 200,000, guess what? They will have nothing in their account. The P5, welcome. J. Chris, thank you for tapping out the live. Thank you all for tapping out the live. All right. So ETF, and that's the process of that ETF. ETF can change your life. As a matter of fact, I always say that, but it is about long-term versus instant gratification, right? Instant gratification. Here we talk more about delayed gratification. We talk about long-term investing or medium-term investing. We talk about solid structure of building wealth. We talk about generational wealth. That's how we build wealth. This is not get rich quick scheme. I'm not for you if your goal is, you know what, I want instant gratification. I want my money tomorrow. I want something that will double your money. I'm not for you. But the thing about it, if you want something that's going to build you long-term wealth, then use the strategies that the multimillionaire gets to use, which is the ETF or index funds, real estate, right? It's another one. And of course, we talk about businesses. Businesses will also change everything, right? So it's a flow, and you'll be like, okay, Dr. Lina, so which one should I start investing in? Should I start with ETF or should I just do ETF, or should I just do real estate, or should I do this? Should I do that? you want to come back again, we'll talk about what is the way, where should you invest. But at least you have an understanding on ETF right now. You know, have you found value, right? For those that did not understand what ETF, do you now know what ETF is? Put one if you now know what ETF is. Put one if you now know what ETF is. One in the comment, you found value, you now know what rule of 72 is, you know what S&P 500 want. Our user said one. That's great. That is great. Amazing, amazing. Okay. Any other person? Just one person? Any other person? Because we'll be wrapping up the live now. I have one of my mentorship programs today at 3 p.m. So I'll have to close early because I take my mentees very, very seriously. Because of course, because that's part of the strategy that we use here to, if somebody wants an holding. So only just one person found value today. What do you not understand? Let me know. Put the question here. What part of it do you not understand? Only one person said one. I understand what it is. Does it mean that the rest of people? Okay, Ajay says one. Any other person? Ajay, how are you? And the user, how are you? Any other person? Just two people? Just two people? Any other person? Any other person that understand what ETF is? Or do you want me to talk about it? Put zero if you don't know what ETF is. And I'll just go on it, one quick wrap. One round. If I don't know, put zero. I know. Okay. Yes, you know. Okay, good. Any other person? Zero. J. Chris, you don't know. Okay. All right. Any other person? If we have maybe two, or if we have like three people, then I would go quickly one more time. Otherwise, J. Chris will have to do that tomorrow. If any other person that doesn't know about ETF, put zero. I know one. I don't know. Put zero. Okay. I think every other person is okay, or they just decided to ghost me and not respond today. Today is not a responding day. User, welcome in. Sylvia, welcome in. And make sure you click on the follow button and join the community of millionaires. This is the community, and ETF is part of the strategy. That's why I always want us to confirm that I know, right? I know.